I think there's something in the water with the Strike Brigade.
A trend that new Strike 7 Command Sergeant Major Brandon Haywood noticed at the change of responsibility ceremony. Command Sergeant Major Alonza J. Smith addressed 2nd Brigade Combat Team Strike for the last time as Strike 7 before heading to Division to become Eagle 7, replacing Command Sergeant Major Scott Schroeder. Command Sergeant Major Smith will be the second Eagle 7 in a row to come from Strike Brigade.
So who knows, one of these days I might be the Division Sergeant Major for the 101st.
Although something in the water may seem like a possible cause for such great leadership coming from Strike Brigade, there's a bit more that gives Command Sergeant Major Smith an edge.
An incredible leader, an absolute professional, tirelessly committed to the soldiers of the brigade, the pulse of the brigade. Sergeant Major Smith, your service to this brigade in training, courage in combat, tenacity in the hospital, and your dauntless example of going back into combat demonstrate unequivocally what a strike soldier is all about: fighting where told and winning where he fights.
Command Sergeant Major Smith was indeed the pulse of Strike Brigade, but he feels differently, and only he can tell it best. So, for the last time, Strike 7 Command Sergeant Major Alonza J. Smith.
First of all, let me make a few acknowledgments. Command Sergeant Major Schroeder, one of the finest non-commissioned officers that I've ever met. My previous assignment in this division, when I was an Ops Sergeant Major in 3187, and on my way to going to Fort Drum for my 1st Battalion, I met him briefly when he was announced as the 2nd Brigade Sergeant Major. Really didn't know much about him. Upon my return to Fort Campbell in April of 2009, I met him. And from the very beginning, I knew that he was a genuine leader that cared about soldiers, families, and our system that we have here at Fort Campbell. My only regrets is that I didn't meet him earlier. Again, a tenacious warrior that has taught me a lot. And will always be in your debt. To my wife, Sandra. I really had no idea all the things that you did until I came back. All the different events, engagements. And I really, at times, thought your job was harder than mine. And thank you for your commitment, for all that you've done, and will continue to do. I also like to make a confession that at times I could have been a better husband. Be a little bit more understanding for off time, spare with you. Haven't taken on a vacation in 3 years. But I'll make it up this weekend, take you to my favorite restaurant, Hardee's. Or Sonic, your choice. But I thank you for all that you've done and will continue to do for this great division and army. But most of all, I want to acknowledge the soldiers of this great brigade and regiment, past and present. Now, I equate anything that has to do with my reputation to the soldiers that I have served with over the years. From my young days as a sergeant, to today's now serving as Command Sergeant Major. I'm a firm believer that if you focus on your own personal goals, accolades, and accomplishments, you will not be successful. Again, that is my personal belief. We can debate it if you like. But it's the soldiers that make the unit, that make the leader, that make the command. All soldiers ask for is genuine leadership and honesty. And I try to provide that at all times to all soldiers, regardless of rank or position or the capacity in which they served in. But I must tell you that I have never served the finer soldiers than the soldiers in the Strike Brigade. It boils down to the soldier, to the individual soldier, the skill and the will to get it done. Numerous dismounted patrols with soldiers throughout this brigade, watching one soldier there in Makwan, out front with a mine detector, walking around without a fear in the world, looking for caches, mines, explosives, confident in himself and his equipment. I don't know if I could have done that when I was 19 years old. I'm not sure. Still to this day, I'm not sure. But it's a testament of the skill and will of each and every soldier in this brigade to rise and meet the challenge. To each and every soldier in this brigade, know this: you have defined me. You have made me what I am today. Leaders are afforded the opportunity to assume increased levels of responsibility due to their performance and potential. But it could not be achieved without the skill and the will and heart determination of the soldier. When Major General McConville selected me to serve as the next Eagle 7, he really didn't select me. He selected those soldiers of his fine brigade that perform outstandingly in combat and day-to-day here at Fort County. So know that though I will go on to serve as Eagle 7, if I could, I'll divide the rank up thousands of pieces and share it with you all. It's been an honor, privilege, to serve with each and every one of you. And those that are not here with us anymore, they paid the ultimate sacrifice. To that, I'll always be in your debt. Thank you. Strike and assault.